welcome to another episode of Always Up to Date. My name is Denise and this is Yahweh, and we are co-owners of Always Bookkeeping. How are you doing today, Yahweh?
Good. It's getting better out there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, last time we did videos it was rainy and cloudy, and it's kind of been that all week.
Yeah.
It looks like it's starting to break, so that's kind of nice.
Welcome to Edmonton.
Yeah, that's right. So today we're going to be talking about interview questions. And so the quote we have today is from Jim Collins, who's the author of 6 books. And his quote is, "Those who build great companies understand that the ultimate throttle on growth for any great company is not markets or technology or competition or products. It is one thing above all others, the ability to get and keep enough of the right people." So our stat is from Industry Canada, and we talked about this before. 50% of all Canadian businesses fail within 5 years, and 23% of failed entrepreneurs will list not having the right team as a reason for failure, making it the 3rd highest reason that businesses fail. And so, you know, it's really hard to get good employees and to keep good employees. Mm-hmm. So we're going to just talk a little bit today about interview questions and, you know, what kind of questions you should ask in an interview.
Yeah. So the first thing you want to ask, is it more important to ask more questions or have more candidates to an interview?
Yeah, lots of times we focus on the questions that we're going to ask, and I've even heard people try to come up with questions that are kind of bizarre to get people to think on their feet, right? How is this person going to answer this question? Or, you know, and coming from somebody that's been interviewed, you kind of think, oh, what kind of questions are they going to come up with? But, you know, it's actually more important to have more candidates than to ask more questions. You know, you can ask all the questions you want, but if you're not seeing a lot of candidates, you're not always going to get the right one.
Yeah, absolutely. And as well, the candidates are there for an interview, so they will have the mindset of what you want to hear, as opposed to what they really want to do. So there's always that disconnect. There's a lot of people that are more theoretical than doers. So that's why I think it's more important to see more candidates, so you have more options and you have more comparisons to do, other than just to focus on this one person who can give you what you want. That's right. As far as, you know, like interview goes. Yeah,
that's right.
Can a well-written job ad eliminate a lot of questions you need to ask?
Yeah, absolutely. If you have a job ad that's written well, the candidates are going to see that, first of all, and they're going to, you know, it's going to weed out the people that really aren't interested before you even start the interview process. Yeah. But what we do with our interviews too is that we repeat the job ad in the interview, so that, you know, candidates are applying for more than one job. They're not just applying for your job. They've been looking at hundreds of ads probably. This gives them a chance to make sure that they're at the right place, gives them another chance to decide if this is really what they want. And then there's no surprises, right? People know what we're looking for.
Yeah, it sets the expectation of what they're gonna be expected to do when they get hired for the position. That's right. Yeah. Why do big businesses normally get better talent than a small business?
So big businesses, it makes sense. Most of them probably have an HR department. That's their job. They can spend all day, every day looking for the right person. Where in a small business, like we've talked about before, you're doing the hiring, the firing, all the HR stuff. Plus you're doing the work that needs to get done for the supplies that you're providing, the service or product that you're supplying to your client.
To get the business going.
That's right.
On top of that.
That's right. And if you don't have bookkeepers, then you're doing the bookkeeping yourself. So you're doing all these other things. You just don't have the time to look at the talent that you need for your business. So that's why big businesses normally get better talent, because they just have the time to do it. They have a separate department to do it.
All the resources and all that.
Exactly.
How many candidates should you aim to interview to fill a position?
Yeah, so this is a number that most people, especially small business owners, will be shocked at. But really, you should try to interview at least 100 people to fill a position.
To get one good hire.
One good hire.
Yeah.
Which is crazy when you think about it. Like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
You and I both have gone through the interview process, and it takes a long time just to see 8 people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially if you're filling them up one by one to your
That's right.
schedule.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
again, you still have a lot to do to
That's
get your
right.
business going.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So how can you avoid asking common interview questions how can a small business owner interview 100 people?
Yeah. So exactly.
Yeah.
And we've had a video on this before about group interviews.
Mm-hmm.
We strongly recommend group interviews. You can have more than enough people come in for a group interview, and you can interview them all at one time.
Yeah.
Maybe not 100 at one time, but within a month you could easily get that many if just 25 people in a group interview. And we have had interviews where we've had 25 people come in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know this is not people's favorite way of getting the interview, but this is the best way to interview or see more people for a small business owner with very limited time. Now that I think about it, even some of the big retail stores are doing group interviews. So if they're doing it, why aren't we doing it?
Exactly. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And again, going back to being somebody that's interviewed people before, way less stress to do a group interview.
Yeah.
Oh my
absolutely.
goodness, it takes way less time. You again get to see more people, and you can still get your other work done without going without sleep for a couple of weeks or whatever.
And the thing with saying more people is that yes, like the first hire is always the hardest.
Sure.
Right. So when you've seen this many people, if the first hire didn't work out, you have a long list of people you can call now that already went through that interview process that will probably match your categories or what you're looking for the position.
Yeah. Exactly.
So how can you avoid asking common interview questions in a group setting?
So what we do and what we recommend is sending the questions to them beforehand. So we send just a blanket email, and it just, this is the time our group interviews are. Here's a list of questions we want you to answer and bring with you to the interview.
Yeah.
So this helps, first of all, it will help you by not having to ask those questions in the interview. And second of all, it also helps to weed out those people that don't follow instructions well.
Yeah.
I know we had people come to the interview. Well, I didn't know you wanted me to bring those to the interview. Well, that's what it says in our email. Bring these to the interview. So, if again, that helps to weed out those people that, if they can't follow simple instructions for the interview, are they going to follow simple instructions when you hire them? Chances are a little bit lower on compared to the people that did bring all the information you asked them.
Yeah, absolutely. What is a main question you should ask in a group interview?
Yeah, so I think this question is up for debate of what is the main question you want to ask. But here at Always Bookkeeping, we would ask, why do you want to work here? We don't want to know why you want to be a bookkeeper. We don't want to know how close our business is to your home, how it's going to be easier for the commute. We want to know why you want to work here.
Yeah, and I think that's very important, especially if you're trying to build a culture in your business.
That's right.
Now you know what they actually are looking for in your company specifically, not just a general. Because most of the time, these questions are going to be answered the same way by the same people.
That's
if
right.
they didn't do research on your company, so they will have to come up with something that's a little bit more basic.
That's right.
So
yeah.
That shows you how much passion someone has in working with you, and also it just, you can see the people that will stand out
That's right.
because that's what you want. You want the ones that will stay in your company because they want to work there, not necessarily because they need a job, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
What types of answers are you looking for from the candidates?
Yeah, so we kind of just discussed that, but we're looking for the reason they want to work at our firm.
Yeah.
Not, there's so many bookkeeping firms out in Edmonton. They could work at any bookkeeping firm.
Yeah.
But why ours? Why did you choose ours? And again, we're looking for those people that stand out, why they've chosen our firm, not just because they, have always wanted to be a bookkeeper since they were a kid. I don't know. There's a reason that they've chosen our firm.
Yeah. What types of answers are you not looking for from the candidates?
Yeah, again, we're not looking for, my mom wants me to move out of the basement and so I need a job. We don't want people that, I picked yours because it's closest to my house, things like that. We want it to be well thought out and, again, like we talked about before too, it kind of makes the people stand out when they come up with an answer, especially in a group interview, because if you're the last one to answer the question, everybody else has already answered. So you need to come up with something that's kind of fresh and new
original.
And different. That's right. Yeah, so it also is going to help to kind of weed out the people that way too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, people who are just looking for a job, like it's not, everyone that goes into the interview wants a job.
Of course.
Right? So we want someone that actually goes above and beyond. So anyone who actually did a little bit of research of your company before they went in there, that's a good sign that that person is very willing to go above and beyond of what expected of them.
Right. And remember, we're looking for a team that's going to build our business.
Yeah.
Not just looking for a paycheck.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you read the resumes and answers to common questions before the interview?
Yeah, we don't look at them at all before the interview. We actually get them to bring them into the interview with them. If a candidate stands out in the interview, then after the interview is over, that's when we look at the answers and the resumes and weed out more if we have to. Anybody can say whatever they want in an interview. We've had people come through that have done really well in the interview, and then when they come in to do a shadow with us, it's like, wow, they do not fit in this culture at all. So same thing, we've had them do really good in the interview. Then we go and we look at their resume and their answers and we think, oh, I don't think this is going to be a right fit.
Yeah, especially in the traditional way of doing interviews and hiring people, we always look at the resumes first.
That's right.
And what we don't think about is people will always make themselves look better than they are in their resume. People lie on the resume.
Yeah.
So why would you spend that limited time just reading all those resumes that comes in when at the end when they go to the interview, they're not even going to fit what you need for that position.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important that you do the interview first and get to know the people before you read the resumes. Because at the end of the day, it's the people that you're going to be working at, the actual physical human being that's going to be in your in your firm or your bookkeeping company, and not the credentials. The credentials, we have training for that, right? And yes, you need some certification and all of that. And if you make that as a requirement in your ad, that shouldn't be a problem for you anymore.
That's right.
Yeah. So I think that's all the questions we have for today. I hope you guys find it informative. We do some small business boot camps. I think we'll have another one in August 10th. August 10th. So you might want to consider going. We have real business owners that would be coming into that event. It'll be hosted by Josh Pearl, which is one of the best accountants in Canada. So and if you like watching our videos, please click like and subscribe. And if you have any ideas on what you want us to talk about, please comment below, and we'll see you guys next time on our next episode of Always Up to Date.